Hey there, everybody, it's George from DinosaurGeorge.com. We're going to start with Owen from Cardiff, Wales. Hi, DG. I hope you get to answer my question. Well, Owen, guess what? Yours was chosen, so congratulations for both of us. Do you think if some of every type of dinosaur survived the mass extinction, would they evolve to fill the niches that modern-day animals are in at the moment? Owen, really cool question. Okay, let me tell you this first, Owen. I believe that dinosaurs pretty much filled all of the niches that exist in every environment when they were alive, and that would be the same as today. What I think would be different is if all the dinosaurs, or if they did not go extinct at the end of the Cretaceous, I think that the animals we see around us today would be distinctively different. I don't think we would see as many big mammals. Perhaps none of the big mammals may have ever appeared because the dinosaurs were just too advanced. And I think the mammals would have been relegated to staying relatively small. So even though the landscape would look the same, the environment wouldn't look any different as far as the plants. And well, let me take that back. Maybe we would even see a difference in the plants that we see around us today, because certainly the big herbivores have an impact on the plant life. So maybe the environment would look different. But getting to the main point of your question, yes, I do believe that dinosaurs, had they not gone extinct, would be filling every single niche open in the environment, much like it was when they were alive. What a cool question, Owen. That's really cool. You know what, Owen, I don't know if you've ever written to me before or not. I can't say I can recall anybody from Cardiff, Wales ever writing to me. So you may be the first person from them. But anyway, just that name sounds familiar. Cardiff sounds familiar. So maybe you're not, but whatever the case, I think it's cool to get a question from somebody from Wales. All right, Alex from Ottawa, Canada. Hi, Mr. Blassing. Alex, first of all, that's incredibly polite of you, but always feel free to call me George, DG, Dinosaur George. But I appreciate that courtesy. It's very respectful of you. Alex says, I hope you are well. I am. At least my psychiatrists say I'm doing better. I'm kidding, you guys. Have you seen the Walking with Dinosaurs series? And if so, what do you think of it? Alex, loved them. Absolutely loved that series. I thought they were spectacular. What I really liked about them is they were the first shows that were willing to talk about dinosaur behavior. Most paleontologists feel more comfortable only sticking to what they can see before them. And that's perfectly understandable, and that makes sense. But I've always loved the idea of looking at behavior and trying to guess what the behavior of these animals were. And so what I loved about Walking with Dinosaurs is they were able to step out on a limb and take a guess about the behavior. All right, James from Auckland, New Zealand says, hi, Dinosaur George. Who do you think would win in a fight between Liopleurodon and Basilosaurus? Well, James, I think Basilosaurus would have had an advantage being probably bigger brained and capable of thinking a little more. But at the end of the day, it's very difficult to beat something as gigantically huge as Liopleurodon. And if Liopleurodon ever would have got his jaws on Basilosaurus, Basilosaurus probably would have resembled a piece of spaghetti going down the throat of Liopleurodon. All right, my buddy Alex from Manchester, England. Hey, DG, do you think Scipionyx was a Dromaeosaurus? Thanks. Well, Scipionyx, and some people pronounce it Scipionyx, is a really tiny little dinosaur that they found in Italy. And, you know, I can't tell you if he's a dromaeosaur or not. At the time he was discovered, Alex, I know that what was really exciting about him is that he was so well preserved, we could, for the first time, I think for the first time, look at internal organs. And so my focus was on that and not so much on the skeletal design, whether or not he fits into the family of dromaeosaurs. I know that he was very bird-like, but I can't say for certain if he fit into that family. All right, finally, my buddy Jay from Anchorage, Alaska. He says, good day, DG. Hey, Jay, good day to you too. I know that Triceratops has a reputation for being a bigger buffalo-like rhino, but, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. He says, I know that Triceratops has a reputation for being a bigger buffer like buff. But I think it might have behaved more like a deer. First, ceratopsians presumably lived in herds or at least small groups like many species of modern deer do. Rhinos tend to live alone. And perhaps Triceratops sharpened its horns on tree trunks. And finally, maybe young Triceratops had a velvet-like material covering its horns. Maybe I'm off base, but I'd like to know your opinion. Thank you, sir. Well, you're welcome, Jay. I see your point, Jay. What you're saying is you believe that rather than being thought of as prehistoric rhinos, maybe they acted and looked more like prehistoric deer. Well, didn't look more, but behaved more. So I can understand that. I don't see any evidence that suggests that their horns would have been covered in velvet like, say, a modern deer does during a certain time of year. I don't know necessarily if they did. Now, it is true that a lot of ceratopsians are found in bigger herds, much like modern deer travel in, but Triceratops is a little bit different. They generally find those guys more alone, so they appear to be more loners, which sort of takes them back to being more rhinoceros-like. Jay, my guess would be that they perhaps did act sort of like modern deer, but they may have also acted like modern rhinos. It's not unusual to see rhinos in small herds. This is a tough one, Jay. You know, I just don't know if rhinos or deer are even a good enough comparison. Either one is a good enough comparison to what Triceratops was, because Triceratops had so many features that made him kind of different, in my opinion, than other ceratopsians. That's a tough one, buddy. You got me stumped. I don't know. I will tell you this. All of the concepts that you thought about perhaps rubbing their nose on trees and that kind of stuff, I do think they certainly would have done that, maybe if nothing else, just as a way to mark their territory the way deer do. Bucks do that in the deer family. They do rub their horns to kind of mark their turf. So I just don't know. All right, listen, you guys, there's something I'm kind of thinking about doing. And I'd like for you to give some thought to this. You know, I get question after question after question, and like I say, we can't always answer them all, but it gets a little boring with just me sitting here answering questions. And so I'm beginning to think that it might be interesting if any of you have the ability to have a camcorder and you have some editing. You don't necessarily need to edit it a lot, but I'm wondering if you videotaped yourself asking your question, put it on a DVD and mailed it to me, whether or not I might be able to incorporate your questions that way. So rather than me reading your name, maybe what I'll do is I'll put your question, you get to ask the question on my video, and then I will edit it, and then I'll answer your question. I don't know, it's something I'm thinking about doing. I'm kind of giving it some thought. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is maybe allowing you to email me your picture. And maybe when I'm reading your question, then maybe I'll put your picture up. I'm just trying to think of ways to make this even more interactive. I get so many great questions from you, and I think it would be cool that the other people that hear your question maybe get a chance to see you ask the question. I don't know yet. Don't flood me with a bunch of DVDs. I'm still giving it some thought. But if any of you have any opinion on that, let me know. You know, let me know what you think about that. The best way to do that is on YouTube. Post your comments on YouTube. I promise you guys, even though I don't respond to all the things you post on YouTube, I try to read them all. And so anyway, give me your opinion of that. All right, you guys, that's it for this time. If you have a question, go to my website, dinosaurgeorge.com. While you're there, check out things like following me on Facebook and Twitter. So many of you are good friends on Facebook and Twitter. Ask me your question. Make it short and to the point. If it's extremely long, I promise you they don't even take the time to read those, because some of them are 3 and 4 and 5 pages long, and there's just no way I could dedicate that much time to answering them. Until next time, for all you young people out there, practice your reading. And for everybody else, I appreciate the courtesy and good manners. It certainly makes the world a whole lot better place. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. Take care.